everyone, my name is Brittany and welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be reading 3 different thrillers for the spooky season. Spooky season is coming up for me, and of course I really wanted to find some good thrillers or horrors that were going to work for me during the spooky season and kind of get me into the mood. However, I've actually waited for all 3 of these for at least a few months now. I was hoping to get them a little bit earlier, but I finally got them all at the same time, which is just like miraculous for coming from the library. And I've gone almost all the audiobooks at the same time as well. So I really lucked out. One of the books I'll be reading for this is The Hacienda, and this is the only one I don't have the audiobook for at the moment. It's about 2 weeks out, so I'll probably end up reading this book last. And honestly, all I really know about this is it sounds like a really haunted hacienda, and it just sounds really incredible. It has like Mexican Gothic vibes. And here's the thing, I actually really liked the vibes of Mexican Gothic. I just did not enjoy the actual story. I felt like the writing was too slow. I think if somebody else wrote Mexican Gothic, I would have loved it. I didn't really enjoy the writing, but I like the spooky vibes, the haunted, place. I'm really hoping that this has kind of those same vibes for me, and I really hope it hits. But I'm waiting for the audiobook in about 2 weeks, so this will definitely be the last one I pick up. But I'm really excited for this, and hopefully it gives me more like the horror vibes I'm looking for right now. But like, I'm just not really into like a horror book, if that makes sense. I don't want something too scary right now, but then again, I do want something that's going to like actually like give me those vibes. The other book I'll be reading is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager, and this is a very anticipated book, but I'm definitely a little bit worried about this book because so far I've tried listening to the audiobook 3 different times and only get up to chapter 2, and I still have no idea what I'm reading, and I go back to the beginning. So I actually end up returning the audiobook to the library because I just can't do it, because I did not like the narrator at all. She sounded like she was much older than our narrator in the book. And she's like 60 years old, and we're supposed to have like a 35-year-old character. So I'm definitely a little bit frustrated with that. And I returned the audiobook. So this one I'll definitely just have to read in physical form, which is a little upsetting because I usually do enjoy Riley Sager's audiobooks, but this one was just not working for me. But the whole gist of this story, as far as I know, is it's all about somebody who has her own messed up background. She spies on the people across the way and they get murdered. Something like that. I'll give you a little more updates whenever we actually get to this, but I'll probably end up bringing this book second because I have to read it physically. But we're gonna see on the timing for the Hacienda's audiobook. And the first book I'll be reading for this, which is The It Girl by Ruth Ware. And this is a very chunky novel for a thriller. This is like 430 pages. And I actually got the audiobook, which is why I started this one first. And I like the audiobook. It's been working for me. I'm actually 42% of the way into this book already, and I started it this morning. But I have to tell you, I listened to this shit all day, and I only got 42% into this. And I'm listening at like 2 times speed. This novel is very chunky, and it's totally a ripoff of In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. And I didn't like that book. I did not like it at all. And I'm a little upset at myself that I didn't look and see what this book was about. But the thing is like there's some authors, like I just want to see what they're writing. And Ruth Ware's kind of those like auto reads for me. Like I always read her stuff, even though I've never like loved any of her books. I don't even know why I read them sometimes. And I really don't like this premise at all. It's very much the same premise of In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. We're following our main character. Can't even remember her freaking name. Hannah. And Hannah is best friends with April, and they met in college. So it does like the before and after chapter. So the before chapters are following them in college, and will lead up to April being murdered. I think like 8 or 10 months after they originally met in college. And they were like best friends, yada yada. They're literally following the exact same storylines in some ways of In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, which is like a little bit frustrating. But then also in the after chapters, which is present day, finally at the 35% mark, we finally get like a little bit of an air of mystery of why we're reading this freaking thriller, because some guy is starting a podcast about what really happened that day, because there's a lot of like misconceptions. And the guy who was originally like framed for her murder basically died in prison of a heart attack. And every single year he kept saying he was like innocent, and then he died. And so now they're kind of really thinking like maybe he really was innocent. So that's just like the whole premise of this book, which is fine. But it literally took to the 34 to 35% mark to actually even get to the podcast part of like why we're supposed to care about this thriller, because it does not feel thrilling. It does not even feel mysterious, really. Now we're finally getting to the part almost halfway through the freaking book of like why we should actually care about this. And it's definitely a little bit frustrating. This book is way too long. Like this is a very long-winded story already. Especially for what the story is, it's way too big. There's no mystery. It's very predictable. We'll see if I'm right about who actually murdered April. I have my thoughts. I think I know exactly who it is, but we'll see. I mean, I could be surprised, but this is just really not doing it for me right now. And it's not like it's a bad audiobook at all, but I just feel like I'm like waiting for like a plot twist or something, and nothing has happened yet. So hopefully tomorrow at work, I can maybe finish this and at least actually get to like a plot twist, because I am just very confused as to how this is a mystery thriller at this moment. It really is just not feeling like it. That's all I can really say. I don't want to obviously spoil it for you, but not working. Anywho, so I'm going to finish the It Girl, and then I'll probably start on The House Across the Lake, and then I'll probably start on The Hacienda. But we'll also just see if I get The Hacienda's audiobook first. I'll probably just go with that one first. We'll just have to see. We'll see how that goes, but tonight I'm gonna have some pho for dinner. I'm going to probably end this video, maybe relax a little bit if I can. My computer's been like really on the fritz and like not working. It's saying something's wrong with my graphics card, but it's a brand new laptop. I don't understand what's going on, but anywho, I will talk to you guys hopefully tomorrow. Say hi, everybody. Tell them you're feeling better. Like I get sick every time she has to get her teeth cleaned once a year. She looks so mad. And it seems like she's feeling a little bit better today, huh? Okay, I'll hold you for a second. Also, she got a bath today, so she's also extra not happy, but she basically smeared her shit on her foot and then flicked it on the wall and the curtains and the floor. So somebody got a shower today. But anywho, I ended up finishing The It Girl, and I'm gonna give it 1.5 stars. I'm not really surprised that I didn't love it, but a little sad. This premise in general is super unoriginal. I really don't like the poor perfect rich girl trope of the girl who gets like murdered like way too soon in college or something. I just don't really care about those kind of characters, and especially because April was kind of a piece of shit. I really didn't care. It wasn't like, oh, they're like perfect rich girl on the outside but actually like really sweet or something. No, she was a piece of garbage, in my opinion. One of the biggest issues is this book is way too fucking long. This book is literally a Bible for the amount of information we actually get in it. This could have been like a 50-page short story, and I would have gotten the exact same like gist. 99% of this book is our main character, Hannah, holding her pregnant belly and then trying to figure out who murdered her friend April. Why she actually even cares, I don't know. Like, you couldn't have waited to trying to find her murderer like after you had your baby or something. I don't know. She decides to go through this whole thing, and it's just... honestly, it's just really boring. It doesn't make any sense. We don't really like our main character. I don't really vibe with her. The story is just kind of unoriginal. It's not unpredictable or anything. There was no good plot twist. This is not Dark Academia. Like, I don't really know what this had going for it, but it was not anything of importance. That's problem I have is I actually really like the way that Ruth Ware writes books. I like her writing style. I just don't love her books. I mean, I think the highest rating I ever gave was to The Turn of the Key, which I think I was teetering between like 3 and 4 stars. I like her writing, but this needs to be way edited down, and it should have had something a little more original. I just feel like this trope is way too overdone, and you didn't add anything new to it other than a pregnant main character. The murderer to me was super transparent, but I mean, I did like some of the red herrings, and I guess some people definitely could be fooled by them. But my other big issue with this book is that there basically was a sexual assault from the main guy who like gets put into jail for like the murder of April. He sexually assaulted our main character, and then she like brushes it off and was like, oh, he's just like weird and awkward. And I'm like, no, he assaulted you. You were 100% right in what you were feeling. Your friend at the time was telling you that was not okay, and then a professor also just like brushed it off. So it was very frustrating. I feel like there was no justice for that. And then again, she was just like, oh, he's just like weird and awkward. Like, no, sweetie, you were assaulted. You're allowed to feel upset. Overall, there was no drama. There was zero suspense. It didn't really feel like a thriller at all, except for her always like feeling anxious or something. It didn't really do anything in terms of like make me feel thrilled or feel like any moments were suspenseful. I just felt like everything, like I knew everything was gonna be happening and coming. I just didn't really care. So unfortunately, this gets 1.5 stars out of me. I'll round it up to 2 stars, but yeah, a little disappointing, but I'm not really surprised. I just feel like I don't really love any of her books, but I keep giving them a chance because I feel like she's such a good writer. I just like wish she wrote stuff I liked. Anyway, I'm not really sure which book I'm gonna pick up next. I haven't quite decided yet because I haven't gotten the audio for The Hacienda yet, and I have not yet wanted to pick up The House Across the Lake because I'm also reading a couple other books in person for different reading vlogs. So I will chat with you when I pick one of those up. So I finished the Hacienda without talking to you guys, but it just kind of happened accidentally just because I kind of wanted to get through it. I fucking hated this book. I just have to be honest. Like, I really liked like the first 10% of this. I liked the world building. I liked the Gothic mansion. This is basically supposed to be a retelling of Rebecca and Mexican Gothic. I would not say it's like Mexican Gothic at all, other than the fact that it takes place in the Mexican countryside and is written by a Mexican author. That's it. It definitely follows Rebecca, but it takes Rebecca's tropes and like ruins it. And then it adds a fucking priest in. So like, we're following our main character. She marries this wealthy guy who owns the hacienda. And it's great because she's an independent woman. She wants to sustain a future. She wants to secure this future. And she wants to make sure that, you know, she's taken care of. So she marries this dude. She doesn't love him. Good for you, independent woman of that time period. And of course, there's this kind of like thing about his first wife and what happened. I just... There's something wrong with the house. We don't know what it is. And up until a certain point, I actually really liked it because it felt like she was exploring it through her eyes. And it felt a little bit like Rebecca, where she kind of kept like finding weird stuff. And you're like, that's odd. Like, what's going on here? I was intrigued. And then this fucking priest came in. He was actually the one in the first chapter, which I didn't realize because I didn't, like, it took me a minute to realize that. His entire fucking POV was not needed. Like, he added absolutely nothing to the story. He's a Catholic priest who is into witchcraft. And his POV was not needed. Like, he didn't add anything to the book. And there's a stupid fucking romance between the both of them. And the book was so over dramatic when anything was scary that like I wasn't even scared because I knew there was something scary there. It just didn't like actually surprise me. And it just also felt like more like The Haunting of Hill House a little bit. They found a skeleton on the walls. That was like the only part of the book. Like, there was nothing else scary about this fucking house. Like, dude, honestly, it wasn't scary. I didn't understand the motive for one of the murders in the book. Like, it just made no fucking sense. And honest to God, this book, I hate the writing. It is like the worst purple prose I may have like ever read. Like, it was so convoluted and overdone and over dramatic to the fact where I couldn't actually like grasp anything was scary. I couldn't grasp any actually real emotions. It was not my thing at all. There's no other way to say this, but I fucking hated this book. Like, I only liked the first like 10%. And then after that, I was like, why am I reading this? Like, after she found this blood on her like silk dresses, I was done, dude. I don't know if that was a 20% mark. I have no idea. Done. I was just like, this is it. Like, especially after his point of view came in and he became involved in the story, it was not necessary. He was giving us like the background to like what happened before, but like it didn't add tension, it didn't add anything, it didn't add any excitement. I didn't fucking care. It may sound incredibly harsh, but like, honest to God, I really wish I would have just DNF'd this book. And it's one of those ones that I just feel like at the resolution to like, we didn't get to read this fucking letter. What is the point? We don't get anything from this book. And the writing was so fucking flowery. And I think that's the problem with so many of these horror books. Like, I don't need that flowery of language for a horror book. And I don't need you to tell me all the time that like, oh my God, she's breathing. Oh my God, she's anxious. She's startled. Like, after it happens one time, I'm just done. Like, there's no no jump scares, no surprises. Like, I just didn't fucking like it. I'm gonna try to write a really good review for this. So hopefully if you're confused, you just kind of go read that. But like, honestly, I just feel like some of the reviews kind of do it better because honestly, there wasn't anything I liked about this book other than the setting. I did not like a single character. I did not like a single plot line. I didn't like a single subplot. I only liked the setting, period. That doesn't make for a great book for me. It just didn't work. So would I recommend it? I'm gonna go with no. I wouldn't. If you're looking for that Mexican Gothic, read Mexican Gothic. I just feel like that was a much better option, and I had a batshit crazy ending. Even though I had flowery language and I didn't love it and it was too slow of a book, the ending was so nuts that I still think about that book. Even though I gave it like 2 or 3 stars, still recommend it. This book just honestly felt like a waste of my time, and it's so upsetting because the fucking cover is gorgeous. And I love the idea of like a Mexican horror story. Like, it sounded perfect. I love haunted houses. I love supernatural things. This seemed like it had everything going for it, and it just fell flat on every fucking thing. Like, it just did not work for me at all. So that's it. I finished it. I returned to the library, and next up is going to be The House Across the Lake or whatever. So true story, I didn't finish reading it in time, so I returned that to library as well. But now I'm back on a waiting list for my other library, and I'm also waiting for it as an ebook because I obviously need to read this for this fucking vlog, but I don't know when I'm going to get it back again, which sucks because I really wish I would have liked the audiobook, but I hated it so much that like, it's not even like worth it for me to even try reading the audiobook. It was just so bad. If there was a different narrator, then I probably could do it, but like the narrator that is out there for the audiobook, I just hated with such a passion. It's just not really worth my time to even try. I would just hate the book no matter what. So I'm gonna wait for that, and hopefully I can get in before like the end of October because I just don't really know. Like, there's a lot of like wait list for it, so let's cross our fingers that I can get this in time. Because I kind of just want to get this thing over with after the Hacienda. I'm just so upset. Like, I just don't even fucking care anymore. And I thought that the Riley Sager book would probably be my least favorite out of all these, but I'm just so disappointed and the hacienda. Like, I'm just so upset because it had all the tropes that I love and stuff, and it just fucking ruined it. So I'm gonna go make dinner now and just try to digest everything. Actually, you know that throughout this entire clip, I call the house across the lake the house across the street, and I say the street instead of lake consistently. So I actually know to be aware of that, but it is the house across the fucking lake. Whew, I am very sweaty because I just got back from the gym, and I usually don't get a chance to film after the gym because my brother always comes with me, and it'd be awkward if he was just sitting here while I was talking about a book. But anyway, I went to the gym by myself today. It was fucking great, and now I'm really, really hot because even though it is like 66 degrees outside, it feels 10 to 15 degrees warmer because of the elevation here. And so it feels more like 75 to 80. And then especially in the car, it kind of feels like it's been like 95. So I'm already kind of sweaty now. I'm sweating extra. But I just want to let you guys know that I did get my hands on the house across the street finally, because it's like the last week in October. And yeah, so I am actually 20% of the way into this right now. And I started it yesterday. So that's a good sign. And it's a lot more readable than the fucking audiobook. That audiobook was just fucking atrocious. And I'm definitely enjoying the book a lot more than the audio version. But I'm not really sure if I'm like feeling this story necessarily. I don't really know if I like following someone who's just spying on the people across the street. Our main character obviously has a very interesting past, like as a former actress. I guess she's still like an actress, but she's like a raging alcoholic after the death of her husband, and her mom like forced her into show business, and now she's living at this lake house where her and her husband were on vacation when he died. Like, sure, she's a person, seems quite interesting. I just don't really know if I care about her like spying on the people across the street. Does that make sense? I just don't really know if that's like really like my thing. He's obviously a raging alcoholic, which is not my favorite trope. I don't really like whenever our narrators are unreliable because of addictions and issues like that, but at least it's not like a hidden mental illness thing. Like, you're obviously quite aware that like that's an issue, and we know because she is struggling with that after the death of her husband, who drowned on this very lake she's living on. So there's just a lot going on here. I know that people didn't like this book because they said there's too many stories in one, so I wonder if that's like a part of it. Like, there's just almost like too much going on. But I also don't know if I've gotten to like the other story parts, so I don't really know yet. But I mean, it's fine. It's readable. It's a lot better than the audio, and it's fine. Will it probably be my new favorite Riley Sager? Probably not. Anyway, when I get further into it, I'll let you know, hopefully like the 50% mark, to see where it's going. But so far so good. I mean, it's fine. I'm just really trying to finish this before October so I can release this fucking vlog for you guys. So I will get back to you when I'm a little bit farther into it, which is hopefully soon. Actually, you know that, you know what, when you've had a really bad fucking day, like, I just really want certain things, and something that I've really gotten like addicted to are the milkshakes from Carl's Jr. because I used to have them a lot as a kid in middle school because there's a Carl's Jr. right next to our middle school. So like, we used to get out early on Fridays or whatever, like we would all like go, and I haven't had one in like 15 years. And then I had one again like a month and a half ago, and I've been here every fucking week since. The lady fucking knew. I ordered a chocolate milkshake and she's like, okay, pull to the front. And I was like, not today. I want chicken tenders as well, because I haven't eaten anything since breakfast and now it's 5:15. So I'm gonna eat this really quick, but I just want to let you guys know, if you guys are ever having a bad day, the chocolate milkshakes from Carl's Jr. are literally life-changing and like make me feel so much better. Also, it is late October and I'm still wearing a fucking tank top because it's like not even that cold. I mean, it technically is. It's like 69 degrees, which is like cold for most people, but like for me, that's not that cold. And also, I sit inside all day where the sun hits my room, so it's fucking hot. And at elevation, everything feels like 10 degrees hotter at least because of the sun, and the sun is fucking blaring right now. So anyway, actually, you know, that's how my day's been going. It was fucking awful. And now I'm gonna sit in front of the TV and I'm gonna fucking eat my heart out because my brother is also gonna go get me a sushi burrito, because you know what? I am that fucking hungry and I don't give two fucking shits. Here's the permission for you to do the same if you're having the same kind of fucking day. You know what? Do you, boo. Also, speaking of boo, I got my nails done like forever ago and I forgot to show them off, but like, is that the cutest fucking ghost you've like ever fucking seen in your life? I can't get to focus, but literally the cutest thing. I have it on both hands, and these little boos are gorgeous. Anyway, peace out. Talk to you guys later. Bye. I just want you guys know that I'm actually 80% of the way into The House Across the Lake, and I really don't know how to fucking feel about this book. Like, I really don't know. I don't know I'm gonna rate it yet. I don't even know how I feel about it. I'm shook. This book is really out there wild, and like this book is a wild ride because of all the different fucking plots. Like the plot twists that are like going on right now. I just don't even know what's happening. I don't hate it, but at the same time it used a trope that I fucking hate. So around the 50% mark, we basically find out the whole rest of the fucking earlier book was a lie. And that happened in another book that I read that I'll put up right here. I don't know what it's called, but I did not like that. And I don't like that trope at all, but like, it's so wild. I just don't know. I'll let you guys know my actual star rating when I finish the book because I feel like there could be some other twists coming up. But my biggest complaint about Riley Sager's work in general was that I feel like he doesn't pull on the supernatural enough as like a thriller writer. And this book definitely has that aspect, but it's done in such an absurd way that like, I don't even know how I feel about what happened. Like, I just don't even know. It is still abundantly clear that we cannot trust our narrator because she's also a raging alcoholic, but like other stuff now we found out we can't trust her at all. I just don't know. And you thought somebody was this person, but they're this person. It's just something else, dude. I don't even know how to tell you that because I don't want to spoil it for you, but like, wow. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm entertained by it so far. It's entertaining, but like, is it a great book? I don't know. I have to fucking piss something fierce, so I'm gonna go home really quick and then I'll hopefully finish this book today and I'll give you guys an update, but like, I don't even know how to feel about it. I really don't even know, but a lot of people did not like this book and I could see why, because that plot twist was really cheap and there's been like 4 other plot twists since then. But like, is it entertaining and absurd? Yeah. So we'll see how I feel about it when I finish it. No idea how it's gonna go.
I'm in the dark.
I just have to say that I did finish The House Across the Lake, and I think I'm actually going to round this up to 3 stars. It was not bad. It was not great. I think that a lot of people really hated this book because people don't like supernatural stuff in their thrillers. I, on the other hand, absolutely love that shit, and I wish he did more of it. Was it done well? Probably not. But I was just kind of so thrilled that he put this in one of his books finally that like I actually enjoyed it even though it was so fucking absurd and there was like no build up to it. It was just a surprise. I don't know. It was kind of fun. It was different. It was definitely out there and I'll give him that. He has some balls, but it was an experience. This book is definitely an experience. And I think a lot of people obviously don't like, if you look at the reviews, like every single one that I've seen was like 1 or 2 stars from the people that I follow. Like they just absolutely fucking hated this book. But for me, like I didn't hate it. This is actually quite in the middle of my rankings for his books. I really liked the Vermont setting. I didn't really care for the characters, but I really liked the wild plot twist. It like at least kept me entertained and it like never turned me off. I thought they were a little cheap, but I was still like entertained enough to keep reading, which I think is really, really important. And there wasn't any stupid twist at the end like it was a Survive the Night where I was like, fuck this book. You know, it had a lot going for it and it could have been a lot better had some of those crazy wild twists and stuff actually had like build up to it, because I think that was definitely the biggest issue for myself as well as other people is like, it just slaps you in the face. It's just crazy for no reason. It just comes out of nowhere. I mean, it was kind of alluded to in the beginning, but like it wasn't a strong enough of a buildup, I think, to like make it believable, if that makes sense. It definitely did not have the weight behind it to carry off that kind of a plot twist. And there were so many other plot twists. You know, there were so many like red herrings too. You know, I really enjoyed that part. It just kept me on my toes. But the first half was definitely a little more boring. And then once that switch hits, it was crazy. And then the end was it's just a little bit of a letdown, I think, for me. Like I wanted more after how crazy that was. I thought it was going to end in a crazier note. I mean, I did a little bit, but I mean, not to my satisfaction. But overall, this book actually was technically the best rated book out of this reading vlog. I would never think that the Riley Sager book that I wasn't that interested in would actually end up being the best book out of this reading vlog. It's literally fucking shocking right now. I'll give him that. I was entertained. I definitely would still attempt more of his books after this. This isn't like I'm not gonna read anything else of his ever again. That was kind of a Survive the Night situation where I really thought I was gonna like never touch his shit again. But I mean, this wasn't terrible. I don't know what to say. I'm kind of shocked I didn't hate it. So the fact that it was the highest rated book out of this reading vlog is crazy. But the saddest part is the highest rating of this reading vlog was 2.5 stars. Yikes. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I did make my October deadline that I planned. It is October 30th at this very moment. I will finally publish this tomorrow on Halloween. And honestly, I'm really proud of myself. I really did this. I really did this shit, you guys. So yay for me and happy Samhain. Talk to you guys later. Bye.